What is up, guys? Welcome back. It's been a minute since we've done one of these, driving mindset videos, but tonight we're back and I want to talk about exactly that. I want to talk about mindset, and I want to talk about why I think mindset is probably the most important thing, not only in trading, but in general in life, in order to reach success. The biggest conclusion I think I've made over this year, just helping a lot of people out, seeing who, gets success, seeing who fails, the biggest deciding factor between people comes down to their mindset. Now, what do I mean by comes down to their mindset? What I've noticed is the way someone thinks, the way someone go about their life will dictate what they get, what result they get. Now, what do I mean by this? How many times have you guys heard of someone talking about, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, all this stuff, all these things they're gonna do, or it's like, all these goals, all these aspirations, but how often do you see someone actually achieve these goals? How often do you see someone actually achieve these things? A lot less than the amount of people that you'll see talking about what they want to achieve, right? And the reason being, well, it's a whole lot easier to talk about what you're going to do than it is to do it. If we want to relate it back to trading, how many times have you probably told yourself, how many times have you heard someone say, oh, I'm going to start following my rules. Oh, I'm going to start doing this. Oh, I'm going to start waking up early in the morning. All of these empty promises. Ultimately, they are just empty promises to yourself. And that's going into the mindset I think is the most important thing. And that's a mindset that relates to what you want to do, and you put it towards a process, and you also take full accountability on the outcome because you're focusing on the process. Now, what do I mean by that? This little, confusing lingo. The whole point is so many people always get into a skill, or they get into learning something or starting a business or whatever they want to do because what? The outcome. They want this car. They want that home. They want that result. They want all these, results from the fruits of the labor, but no one actually wants to put in work. How many times do you hear someone say, well, I want to wake up and for the next 5 years, I want to work towards my goals? Have you heard many people say that? No, I personally haven't heard many people say that. But what I have heard, I've heard a lot of people say, I want this supercar. I want this thing. I want all these things. But very rarely do I hear someone say, well, I want to put in this much work. I want to wake up every single day. I want to work for this many hours a day in order to get this result. Same thing with trading. Okay, how many times have I heard someone say, I want to make this amount of money. I want to do this for my family. But not many times I hear someone say, I want to wake up every single day. I want to show it to the market. I want to journal every single day. I want to track all my data. I want to be honest with myself. I'm not going to cope. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to do any of this. I'm going to take full accountability. I'm never going to blame a single thing on anyone else but me. Not a lot of times you hear that, right? Relating back to the mindset. What I've seen, the people that have a mindset where they are focusing on that process, they do fall in love with the fact that they want to get better. They want to achieve this goal they have in mind. Those are the people that I do see coming to that goal, that I do see actually getting that result. Because why? They're focused on the inputs. How are you going to get that result? Your inputs, your day-to-day inputs. Take it back to, what are the chances of going to the NBA? Chances of going to the NBA, I looked it up, 0.02% of high school players will make it to the NBA. With those odds, you would think most people are not even gonna try. I mean, the chances of succeeding are so low. But even with those chances, holy voice crack, even with those chances, so many people try. And those that make it, I bet you, they're not making any excuses. They're probably not thinking about, I mean, what if it doesn't happen? What they're probably spending is 5 years, 10 years, working every single day. I'm not a big sports guy, so, I might be, talking out my ass a little bit here. But what I can bet you is they're working towards that goal every single day. And they're dedicating their life towards that goal. But the goal comes from the process. They're showing up every single day. They're practicing every single day. They're getting as better as they can every single day. Enjoy the process. For you to play basketball every single day for 5 years straight, to practice it every single day, I mean, you have to like basketball, at least somewhat, or else you're gonna be miserable. And that ties into what I wanna talk about. In order to do something you like, in order to be successful, you have to enjoy it a little bit. You have to enjoy it enough to commit yourself to doing this action every single day for a prolonged period of time. And that goes into the other mindset issue. I feel like due to social media, due to the fact that you can go consume content, see all these things, people think that achieving these results is easy. Maybe they'll see some TikToks, some transition reels, oh, 1 year ago, now this is me. But a lot of people fail to realize how difficult and how much effort you need to put in order to achieve a certain result. And again, in order to achieve this result, you gotta enjoy the process. You gotta either be okay or at least somewhat enjoy waking up and working towards that goal every single day. And the whole thing is, most people don't. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. And when you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you are gonna focus on the outcome. You're gonna dictate your day-to-day on how this skill you're working on or whatever you're trying to achieve, how those results are going day-to-day. And that's what you're gonna judge your performance on. And the issue is, results, they're not linear. A lot of the times you'll see things will be exponential. You might work for a year, you might work for 2 years and think that, you went nowhere. But maybe a couple months down the line, that's when your break happened, right? You got this little spurt of luck. I wouldn't even call it a spurt of luck, but it's your moment where all that cumulative work, right? You got your opportunity and that's where you have to go towards it. But all the people that focus on the process, all the people that only care about these things they want to achieve, they're just ultimately never gonna get to that point because they're not gonna make it a year in. They're gonna give up a month in. They're gonna give up 2 months in, right? And like a good quote, and this is something my dad always told me, and I never really wanted to listen to him because it sounded like such an intimidating and scary quote. But what he said is, most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can get done in 10 years. And I think that is honestly the quote I live by to this day, because you do think far in the future, but most people can't think far in the future. I don't like thinking that far in the future because it's scary. It's like, wow, it might take 10 years, and that's where people give up. That's where people, like, you tell them that, they're like, I'm not gonna do it. 10 years working towards something, I'm not gonna do it, right? That's where 99% of people, just a statistic in general, most people can't do it. Because most people, again, only care about that flashy result. Most people can't wake up and dedicate their life towards something they enjoy and they're passionate about. All right, hold up guys. We're gonna hit a little mental break. Now back to what I was saying, this whole mindset idea, I actually learned from my mentor, who I've talked about a little bit in the past. He gave me the whole 30 trades thing that I've made a video about. A lot of you guys probably have heard about it. And this whole mindset thing was the one thing that I would always talk to him about. Now, this guy was one of the most successful guys I knew, and he was also around my age. Right now, he's 21 years old, and he's been trading, he's been doing the same stuff for 10 years now, since he was 11 years old, and he is the most probably successful guy around that age that I know. And I'll always talk to him, or not always, but recently I've talked to him about mindset stuff, and I'm starting to understand, why things are the way they are. I remember I used to personally talk to him, and I used to ask him back in the day, when I wouldn't even say coming up, but when I was just focused on the outcome. I was really just focused on the outcome, and I'd ask him, hey man, like, he made all this money, dude became a millionaire at 17 years old, and I'm like, bro, you made all this money, why are you not traveling around? The guy just, you know, every single day would, you know, be at home working. And I asked him, like, why are you not traveling around? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? I was probably being the most annoying person in the world. I'm surprised he still talked to me, honestly. And what he always told me is like, dude, you're gonna realize one day, I don't need to travel, I don't need to do any of that, because what I love is here. It's at home, and it's working every day. It's working towards getting better every single day, working towards one goal every single day. And that's what he told me I've done the last 7 years. And another thing he told me is a very true thing that I've came down to realize. A lot of people can make money, but it takes a real person to make a lot of money and keep it. Because you'll see people will not even say get lucky, but some people will get lucky, make some money, or they'll put in some work, get some return. But to actually have something, to actually learn a skill or to create something that long-term, 10, 20 years down the line, you're going to make a lot of money, you need passion. You need passion for that thing, because what it's gonna require is every single day, you have to wake up. What do you look forward to? Or not even look forward to? I hope you look forward to it, because that's what you're gonna do the next 5 years, right? It's the same thing as if you told someone, okay, you want this car, you want this result, you want all these things, and if you showed them what they had to go through to get to that point, every single day, next 5 years, 10 years, however long it was for that effort to catch up to them, if you show that to most people, they could not do it. They could not do it because it's so much work. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize, truly how much effort. It's not even brute force effort, it's time. How much time and energy you have to put out in the world for that energy to come back to you and for you to get that result. And that's the biggest mindset thing that most people can't accept. And it was hard for me to accept. Okay, once you go from, you know, you're first starting and now you start seeing some progress, you start seeing good progress, this is where a lot of people will be like, okay, you know, I gotta figure it out, right? I sure thought I had my stuff figured out, you know, a little bit. And then I quickly came to the realization, I do not. What do you have to go back to? The work, the process that got you that place in the first place, that got you to that point, right? Relating back to that thing I talked about, a lot of people can make some money, but it is very difficult to make a lot of it and keep it. Because again, what do you have to relate back to? That process. You have to relate back to the work, and basically you have to accept, hey, I'm gonna have to put in work. My life is not gonna be sunshine and rainbows. I'm not gonna be living this crazy lifestyle, because if I want to improve, if I want these goals to happen, what do I have to do? Put in the work. And again, I feel like that's a very hard pill to swallow, because people think that, you know, stuff is easy. People watch social media, they'll think learning a skill is easy. They'll think this is easy, that is easy. But none of these things are. And I guess like that's the cumulative point I want to make. The reason why I see a lot of people fail is people are actually not prepared for the journey they have to go through. They don't understand, or maybe they don't understand, but they don't want to fully swallow it. And that's why you'll see so many people give up. That's why you'll see 99% of people that tried something, they try a skill, they try to start a business, they will give up. You know, I don't believe in failing, because the only time you fail is when you give up. But most people give up because they're not prepared for what they have to go through, right? And even when people get some results, they're not prepared for what they're gonna have to go through to continue getting those results. And that's the biggest pill to swallow. And that's why it relates back to the idea, if you do enjoy the process, if you understand everything is in your hand, you have the ability to achieve these things. You have the ability to achieve these outcomes, but only if you do this certain thing. You do this certain process, you show up every day for this amount of time, again, then you're gonna get that result. So I feel like when you finally swallow this pill, it gets you a bit excited. For me, it got me excited because I realized that the only thing that's stopping me from achieving anything more is just swallowing the fact that I'm gonna have to work and I'm gonna have to dedicate a lot of my life to achieving that goal. And that's fine, and that's fine. And I don't even wanna say that goal, but towards that process in order to one day hopefully achieve that goal. And again, the whole thing with goals too, goals are such a small thing. Whenever you get a goal, you want the next goal. You achieve a thing, you want the next thing. You buy a car, you want the next car. You buy a house, you want a bigger house. It's a never-ending cycle, but what is not a never-ending cycle is the process. You can enjoy getting better at the raw skill. Enjoy getting better at what you do. Enjoy helping more people, right? Knowing these things, if you focus on them, they're gonna get you that result. And again, the goals are always gonna change. You're always gonna wanna make more money. You're always gonna wanna, get more. Maybe you're a materialistic person. You're gonna want more materialistic things. You're gonna want more freedom. You're always gonna want more of, whatever. And again, it's a never-ending goal, and it's a depressing goal if you only focus on the outcome. So, whole point of this video, I know I rambled all over the place. I know I yapped I yapped a lot, but the whole point, man, is if you're going to start this journey, whether you're trading, whether you're doing anything in your life, what you have to accept right now, whether you've already started or whether you're in the journey, you have to accept that it's not gonna be fun. You are gonna have to put in probably 10 times more effort than you think you can put in. And maybe that won't be enough. You're gonna have to put in so much more than you realize, and you better enjoy what you do. You better enjoy it a little bit every single day, because otherwise it is gonna be hard to get through those days. Getting through 3 years, 5 years, it's gonna be so difficult because you don't even enjoy what you're doing. You don't even like what you're doing. So, that's kind of the point. If you're going towards something, if you're trying to learn a skill, if you're trying to work towards something, make sure it's something you enjoy. Make sure it's something you truly want to do. Because if it's not something you truly want to do, you're wasting your time. You're trying to escape from what you should be doing. And for most people, they know what they should be doing. I know what I should be doing in every single moment of the day. It's just a question of, will I lie to myself and take the cop out, sit down, relax? Or am I gonna do what I know I should be doing every single day? Working towards my future. That's the ultimatum. That's two choices everyone's presented with. And it's a difficult thing, man. It's difficult to show up every day. It's extremely difficult to show up every day. And that's what's required. That is what is required. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little yap. I don't even know what I could call it, man. Yap, motivation, whatever you want to call it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you got some insights from this, appreciate it. But I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.